Stephen Avery, innocent man, 18 years in prison. And the system knew. A woman pointed at him and said, "That's him." 16 family members said she was wrong. The police chose her. 16 people confirmed he was 40 miles away when it happened. 16. They ignored every single one. Avery went to prison in 1985. The real attacker, Gregory Allen, walked free for 18 more years and attacked again. In 2003, DNA proved Avery never did it. He had been sitting in a cell for 18 years for something another man did. 5 teenagers, ages 14 to 16, arrested for a crime none of them committed. This is what happened next. They were interrogated for up to 30 hours. No lawyers, no parents, just detectives who needed a confession. All 5 confessed, but the DNA found on the victim matched none of them. Not one. They were convicted anyway. In 2002, the real attacker confessed. The city paid the 5 men $41 million. It took 13 years to admit they had the wrong people. Amanda Knox was 21 years old, studying abroad in Italy, when her roommate was murdered. Then they came for her. 53 hours of interrogation. Limited Italian. No lawyer present for most of it. She signed a statement she didn't understand. Guilty. Not guilty. Guilty again. Free. Her case went back and forth through the Italian courts for 6 years straight. Meanwhile, Rudy Guede. His DNA was found throughout the crime scene. He was convicted separately. Knox spent 4 years in prison anyway. Richard Jewell was a security guard at the 1996 Atlanta Olympics. He found a bomb. He cleared the area. He saved lives. He spotted the bag. He moved the crowd back. The bomb exploded, but because of him, far fewer people died. 3 days later, the FBI named him the prime suspect. Every news channel in America ran his face. His life was destroyed overnight. They investigated him for 88 days. Found nothing. Because there was nothing. The real bomber was living in the woods of North Carolina. On December 23, 1991, a fire killed Cameron Todd Willingham's 3 daughters, ages 2, 1, and 1. He escaped. They didn't. Fire investigators said the burn patterns proved arson. They said he set the fire deliberately. Modern science says they were wrong. A fire expert reviewed the case and sent a report to the governor's office. It said the investigation was fundamentally flawed. It was ignored. Cameron Todd Willingham was executed on February 17, 2004. A later investigation concluded the fire was almost certainly accidental. Henry Lee was 19. Leon was 15. Both had intellectual disabilities. Both signed confessions they didn't understand. Both went to prison for 31 years. Detectives told them, "Just sign it and you can go home." They signed. They didn't go home. They went to death row and a life sentence. The real killer, Roscoe Artis, lived 1 block away. He had committed a near-identical murder shortly after. He was never investigated. In 2014, DNA finally matched Artis. Henry Lee and Leon walked out after 31 years. Neither had ever been in trouble before that night. 4 men, 4 confessions, 0 DNA matches. All 4 went to prison. This is how that happens. Every single confession was coerced. When the DNA came back, it pointed to one man, Omar Ballard. Only Ballard. Ballard had already admitted he acted alone. Brendan Dassey was 16 years old with a low IQ when detectives brought him in for questioning. No lawyer, no parent, just him. Detectives told him they already knew what happened. They fed him details. He agreed. They called it a confession. He called it surviving the room. A federal judge overturned the conviction. The state appealed. The appeals court reversed it. The Supreme Court refused to hear the case. Brendan Dassey is still in prison today. He was 16 when it started. He has now spent more than half his life behind bars. You may have heard this one. Adnan Syed. 23 years in prison, a podcast, and a case built almost entirely on one person's word. That person was Jay Wilds. His story changed. Multiple times. The core details shifted every time he told it. He was the only witness. There was an alibi witness. She said she saw Adnan at the library at the time of the murder. His lawyer never called her. Not once. Released in 2022. Conviction reinstated in 2023. Charges dropped entirely in 2024. He was 17 when Hae Min Lee was killed. Julius Jones was a 19-year-old college student with no criminal record. Then a man was murdered, and someone pointed at Julius. The key witness was a co-defendant who got a reduced sentence for testifying. That testimony put Julius away for the rest of his life. He spent over 20 years on death row. Hours before his scheduled execution, the governor commuted his sentence. He was not freed, just not killed. Julius Jones is still in prison today. 25 years, no conclusive proof either way, just a man behind bars and a question that was never properly answered. If any of these cases made you angry, good. Subscribe, because there are hundreds more stories exactly like these, and most people will never hear them.